come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Good morning and welcome to our friends joining us on live stream. One way you can actively love the world in December is by helping Throop with our cold weather supply drive. We're doing that in partnership with Friends Indeed, and Rachel and maybe someone else, they'll be at a table in Throop Hall, which is through those double doors at the back. They'll be at a table during our coffee and conversation, and you can find out more about what types of supplies are most needed by vulnerable folks in our community. Thank you, Rachel, and I think Spencer, who are personing that table today. This morning in worship, we consider ways we cultivate the promise and presence of hope during this holiday season. And if you're new to Throop, we would love to stay in touch with you. You can fill out an information card. You'll find it in the pew back in front of you, and you can hand it in a little bit later in the worship service. And every Sunday, we take a holy pause as we remember that each one of us is a light in the world, and the flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with the flame from our candles of hope and witness.
Right here and right now, we open our senses.
Right here and right now, we open our senses
to see and perceive the gifts we've been given. To
see and perceive the gifts we've been given.
To know and believe that what we must do. To
know and believe
that what we must do is open our hearts to let all gifts flow through. Is open our hearts to let all gifts flow through.
We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And we continue to gather in by singing an Advent hymn, People Look East. It's number 226 in the Gray Hymnal. I invite you all to rise and sing out as your bodies and spirits allow, number 226.
Heart
Take a moment and welcome your neighbor into worship.
Stars keep a watch when night is here. One side of ocean, turning beyond the frosty weather. Night and sun and moon together. People looking east, all the stars on the way. People looking east, all the stars on the way.
This time of year, as we look eagerly toward the sky, searching for that star, at this time of year, the garden at my home, it holds a tension within it. It's a tension between falling dormant and getting the rest it deserves, and rising up already with the springtime. The seeds on my Chinese elm, they really haven't even truly started to fall yet, making their spectacular messiness all across my garden and sidewalk. And yet, as I clear away other leaf fall from my garden beds, as I get in there and pull things out, I notice already there are green shoots coming up from the crocosmia. They're ready. They want it. They want to welcome the springtime. And perhaps you feel that tension in yourself too these days. the long, slow nights that are inviting you into more rest. And yet also those feelings in you, these new ideas, this resurgence of joy that's also ready to emerge. And so let us do our very best this season to appreciate the lesson of our earth that is a lesson of holding a holy balance between letting go of what no longer serves us alongside making space for all of those new sprigs of hope. And as we hold that tension together, we share the words to our Throop promise to our planet, and you'll find that in the order of worship. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself.
The responsive reading today is Reflections on the Resurgence of Joy. The congregational response is, open our hearts and let our gifts flow through. Can we try that? Open our hearts.
Open our hearts and let our gifts flow through.
How short the daylight hours have now become. How gray the skies, how still seem the trees. A damp and chilling wind has gripped my mind and made me gloomy too. Open our hearts and let our gifts flow through. But there is also that in me which reaches up toward light and laughter, bells and carolers, and know that my religious myth and dream of reborn joy and hope and goodness must be true. Open our hearts and let our gifts flow through. It speaks the truths of older myths, that light returns to balance long nights, life surges in the evergreen, and us. Open our hearts and let our gifts flow through. Babes are hope and saviors of the world. As miracles abound in common things, rejoice and join the gladness of Christmas. Open our hearts and let our gifts flow through.
Good morning. So I have a story to share with you about a solstice snail named Nutmeg. But first of all, I need to think about the age of the child in this story. About 5 years old, not as young as 4, definitely not 7 or 8. And it was about this time of year. This small child was out of school, and so were their older siblings. How many of you have any older siblings? So this child's one hope over their winter recess was to go on a bike ride with the big kids from their neighborhood. There was 12 or 13 kids that lived in their area, but a 5-year-old has very short legs. And a 5-year-old has a bike, sometimes with training wheels still on it. And when the first shiny Saturday of winter break came, all the children in the neighborhood took out their bikes, and the 8-year-olds and the 10-year-olds and the 12-year-olds rode so fast that our little child was left a bit behind. They pumped their legs, they sped up as fast as they could, and still in the distance, all they could see were the backs of their siblings, who stopped to say, "Go home, you're too little." But when you're on a bike on a Saturday in the winter break and it's sunny, you keep pedaling anyway. So our small protagonist chose to keep going along the path, though they couldn't see the other kids far in the front. There were leaves on the ground to the right and the left, and there was crunching underneath the wheels of their bike. And as they sped up just a little, they hit a rock, and they flew off of their bike into the grass and lost a shoe along the way.
Oh no.
And they lay on their back, staring up at the sky, thinking, why am I so little? Why did the others go so fast? Why am I so slow? But as they lay on the soft, dead grass and noticed a few clouds in the sky, they looked around for their shoe, which was landed over yonder, and they found on a leaf of a plant nearby a small snail that had left a shimmery, glittery trail as it had progressed up the plant. And the child said, well, look at that. I'm not as slow as that snail. I got here all by myself, and I didn't even leave a slime trail. But the child decided that this is the lesson of Nutmeg the Solstice Snail, to enjoy the journey going as slow as you need to stop and rest so you don't get hurt, and take the time to look up at the sky and enjoy the clouds.
Thank you, Terry. I'm so inspired by, did you say Nutmeg, the solstice snail? Yes. Ooh. And on Sundays, we remind our youngest among us that they are an integral part of the web of life and of the Throop community. We remind them to slow down and look up at the sky with awe. We have a practice of singing them into their program, and the words for that are in the order of worship.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
Today's pondering is The Mood of Christmas by Howard Thurman, a 20th century Christian theologian. Christmas is a mood, a quality, a symbol. It is never merely a fact. As a fact, it's a date on the calendar. To the believer, it's the anniversary of an event in human history, and an individual may relate themselves meaningfully to that fact or event, but that in and of itself, that's not Christmas. The mood of Christmas, what is it? It's a quickening of the presence of other human beings into whose lives a precious part of one's own has been released. It's a memory of other days when in one's path an angel appeared, spreading a halo over an ordinary moment or commonplace event. That is the mood of Christmas. The quality of Christmas, what's that? It's the fullness with which fruit ripens, blossoms unfold into flowers, and live coals glow in the darkness. It is the richness of vibrant colors. Such is the quality of Christmas. And the symbol of Christmas, what's that? It's the rainbow arched over the roof of the sky when the clouds are heavy and foreboding. It's the cry of life of the newborn babe when, forced from its mother's nest, it claims its right to live. It's the brooding presence of the eternal Spirit making rough places smooth, tired hearts refreshed, and dead hopes come alive with the newness of life. It's the promise of tomorrow at the close of every day, the movement of life in defiance of death, the assurance that love is sturdier than hate, that right is more confident than wrong, and that good is more permanent than evil.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these hearts. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive.
It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
In a time of great congregation, helps us learn to lead in love. And each Sunday we are reminded that we offer our gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Thank you so much for all the ways you support our Throop community life. For those of you that are able to make a financial donation today, we thank you, and you can make a gift online. The ways to do that are in the order of worship, or you can make a gift here in the room. Barbara is about to come down the aisle with the offering plate. Our morning offering will now be gratefully received. Sunday morning worship is a true team effort, and we thank the morning's volunteers who have made today's worship service possible. We thank Brad for running live stream and troubleshooting sound. Thank you, thank you. Barbara for serving as our greeter and our usher. Taryn, our morning lay reader. Terry for bringing us a story of Nutmeg, the solstice snail. We thank Faith for being with the children's program, Tom, our coffee and conversation host, Malcolm, and choir. And you performed one of my all-time favorite songs. Thank you. And I'd also like to thank Hillary for all of your administrative support, Rachel and Spencer for being with the winter supply drive after worship service. For all of these gifts, we share in our words of gratitude that you can find in the order of worship. With gratitude for the ministries of the church that hold us and embolden us to love the world, we bless our offering and the many gifts we share. And as we prepare to sing our centering hymn, which is number 83, in the gray hymnal, Winds Be Still, I invite you to take a breath in and exhale. Try to relax your shoulders, relax your back, your jaw. And as we sing of stillness, to invite some of that stillness into your own heart and being in this moment.
Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come. Peace reigns this time with harmony. Fly, bird of love, and shine, light of love, and in calm let of fire, tranquility. Bird fly high, lift our gaze toward distant view. Help us to sense life's mystery. Fly high and far, and lead us each to see how we move through the winds of eternity. Light shining, illuminate our inward view. Help us to see with clarity. Find right and true, so we may join our songs in new sounds and become full symphony. Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come. Peace grace this time with harmony.
And today I offer you a body prayer grounded in rest and hope. So as you take a gentle breath in and exhale, breath of life and breath of love, may your hope, and you can put your hands on your heart, may your hope surround me with hands gently out to your side. May your hope, with hands over your heart again, embrace me and embrace yourselves. And may your hope, with hands over your heart again, rest in me with your hands out in front. So again, breath of life and breath of love. May your hope, hands on heart, surround me, hands out to side. May your hope embrace me, and may your hope rest in me. And we'll go through one more time together, taking a gentle breath in and exhaling. Breath of life and breath of love. May your hope surround me. May your hope embrace me. May your hope rest in me. We spend a few breaths together in stillness, inviting a sense of rest into our hearts and spirits, a sense of hope into our lives. And for all that is our life, we give our thanks and praise. Amen.
May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining, almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. Oh, I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith
that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, it comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, oh, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life.
I think that so often when I'm in the pulpit, I'm like out at you all. Malcolm, that was so beautiful. Thank you. As a Gen Xer, a child of the 70s and 80s growing up in rural Arkansas, the mood of Christmas was tangible. It was felt and seen and tasted. The felt mood of Christmas was the delight of putting up the tree with my mom. We would carefully place all the ornaments that had been stored away in those boxes. And then we'd get these packages of tinsel icicles and just wildly throw them wherever they would land. The quality of Christmas, looking back, it was anticipating visits from family that lived far away. It was praying that it would snow during my Christmas break so I could go sledding. And it was deeply missing my grandparents that lived 500 miles away. The taste of Christmas was iced sugar cookies, hot cocoa with sticky marshmallows, always served in these glass mugs that had poinsettias etched on the side of them. And the symbols of Christmas, well, despite the fact that I grew up in a small, rural Arkansas town, which seemed to have one church for every two people. Some of you know what I'm talking about out there. The Christmas symbols I was most familiar with, they weren't really the baby Jesus in a manger. The symbols were the ones I saw on television. They were the ones I looked forward to viewing every year. The stop motion animation special, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, yes, some of you love it too. And actually, side note about Rudolph and all the other reindeer who used to laugh and call him names, I just found out that they were all almost certainly female, which is kind of cool because it's the female reindeer that keep their antlers all winter long. But there's this other favorite holiday special, Charlie Brown's Christmas. Oh, yes, I still watch it as an adult. Did they write it just for us grown-ups and not really the kids? The music, that funny little tree, the heartbreak and the hope, they all get me. Good old Charlie Brown watches the world and all the people around him immerse themselves in the holiday hustle and bustle. Somebody has their want list for Santa that are so long, and some items she wants not just one, but 2 or 3 of them. There's the buying more stuff, the staying busy, and moving fast. Moving so fast it becomes hard to recognize the miracles that abound in common things. Charlie Brown searches for the real mood of Christmas. Finally, feeling lost and disillusioned, he asks, "Isn't there anyone around who knows the real meaning of Christmas?" How does he know us so well? We too can feel overwhelmed at this time of year. We find ourselves caught amidst tensions. There are the expectations of the workplace, of our family and friends, the culture that is telling us to buy and shop and bake and do and decorate. And those tensions are held against something that is completely different. And it is our deep longing for something more. And there's something about this season that wants to offer that to us, something more than the regular old everyday grind. Charlie Brown refuses to give up the mood of Christmas that his heart aches for. He's sure it exists somewhere if only he looks long and hard enough. And you may remember that through a turn of events, his search takes him to a Christmas tree lot. And that Christmas tree lot is filled with these big, fake, artificial trees. And he's like, no, this is not Christmas here. And there, in a lost and abandoned part of the Christmas tree lot, there he finds it. The promise and the presence of hope found within the branches of the littlest, straggliest little tree that was alive and real. I guess not alive because they had cut it down, but it had been alive at one point, not plastic. And there it was. One of the hymns we sing regularly here at Throop includes the line, "When hope is hard to find." And we all know that feeling when hope hides itself away from us. It leaves us feeling empty, alone, maybe scared. And I know what it is to have those feelings of hopelessness, to feel like you've tried and prayed and hoped, and then you went back around and you tried some more, desperate for a different end result. But the abyss that was there in front of you, it didn't go away, and it seems like it opened just a little bit more. Or that feeling of loving someone, and when you lose them, the pain, it is almost too much to bear. How can any of us be expected to bear the loss of someone we love? And you think it's entirely possible that you're never again, anytime in your life, you're just not going to have the energy or the drive to hope for something or someone ever again. And right now, so many of us are feeling heartbreak for where we are as a United States. How did we turn around and find ourselves here? What happened? How can we continue to engage? And it feels hard to have hope in humanity, hope in democracy, hope that our earth will heal, and hope for our children. What does the future hold for them? Cynthia Bourgeot is an Episcopal priest and modern-day mystic, and she writes about finding hope through contemplative practices. Bourgeot says that often we think about hope as a tool we use to get to an outcome. We hope for a better job. We hope our relationship gets better. We hope for a better medical outcome. And she encourages us to think about hope differently. Bourgeot writes that hope does not come at the end as the feeling that results from a happy outcome. Rather, hope lies in the beginning as a pulse of truth that sends us forth. Hope's home is at the innermost point in us and in all things. It is a quality of aliveness, a pulse of truth that sends us forth, a quality of aliveness. What pulse of truth do you find hidden among the branches of this holiday season? A pulse of truth for me, and a truth that offers me a sense of aliveness, is one that even during seasons of heartbreak, it's a truth that pulses through Unitarian Universalism and that pulses through this congregation. And it is the truth that we hold a belief that when we are at our best, it's when we move together on the side of love. It's when we remember that we need one another, and that we would never, ever, ever look at someone in this room and say, "Stop it, go home, you're too slow. Stop it, go home, you're too sassy on the front pew, loving it. Stop it, you're too this or you're too that." No, that is not going to be heard in this church building. The line from that hymn, "When hope is hard to find," it's preceded by a line that soothes heartbreak. And I'm sure some of you who have been in these pews for a while and have sung this hymn together, you know it. It's, "I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find." Last week, one of you said about Throop that every time we join together to make sandwiches for people who are hungry, to collect warm clothes and tents and other items for people who are currently living on the street, when we speak out for the earth, which does not have a voice that many humans can hear, so we speak for our earth. One of you said that every time we gather in these ways, that we are then huddled together in hope. You said we put hope into action. Sometimes we're the ones offering hope to someone else. Other times we are the ones who need to be reminded, "I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find," and you'll do the same for me. This season, I implore you to slow down, even when you think you can't. I implore you to pause and reflect and find meaning in all of this that glitters, and in the slowness to feel the pulse of truth run through you. May you find the promise and presence of hope in the simple and profound, tucked away in small and unexpected places, and may you find it always in your relationships with one another. And we sing into that hope together now, number 346. Come sing a song with me in the great hymnal, and please rise and sing out as your bodies and spirit allow. Number 346.
time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the sound of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the sound of love and the rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the sound of love and the rose in the winter time. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Take the hand or shoulder of someone near you. Our chalice is extinguished. We carry its light with us. And friends, let's sing together one more time. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. You are active and holy hope right here in this room. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen and blessed be.